Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is SpinShootImpress, aka Brandon, and welcome back to the Real Sensitive Guy Hours. This is episode 3 of our long form podcast.
The Real Sensitive Guys is a mature podcast. Viewer discretion is advised.
I like the 1 second delay.
I like it.
You know, it took him a moment to think about what his line
No,
was.
It took me. I was thinking as fast as I could, man. I swear to you.
You're fine. No, you're good. I appreciate
Great execution.
yeah.
Great execution. A few home cleaning things that we have to take care of before we get started. Of course, if you guys would like to send us a message and have us bring up a topic, or if you need any advice, feel free to go into the description and email Dr. SpinShootImpress or Brandon. Dr. SpinShootImpress at gmail.com. It's a fucking habit. Dr. SpinShootImpress at gmail.com. And then send us a long form email of the situation that you're going through right now, and we'll be sure to answer it at the best of our ability. But let's go ahead and just get started.
Have you gotten any yet, man? That'd be so awesome.
I think we have gotten one. Somebody has told me that we have gotten one, but
Oh, serious?
Yes.
Somebody told you that, but you don't know what it is.
Can we bring that up? That's awesome.
I think what we need to do is we have a long form segment that's been going on in the show while I get that prepared. Will, you've been looking for the wives, and honestly, from my understanding, bro, you're slaying right now. You're killing it.
Yeah.
I really would.
Would you like to describe your love life to us, please?
My love life is probably one of the most complicated ones I've ever been.
Your love life is complicated?
Yeah, because
you're single, bro. How is that complicated?
Because like people
you stick your peen in whatever you want.
It's
That's
complicated
what I'm
to be
saying.
single sometimes.
Because,
I mean, that's
like,
I get that. That's fair.
It's complicated because like people will show interest and then like a week, like they'll show interest and then but they won't advance on that. They'll say like, oh, I think you're really great. Oh, I think you're probably one of the sweetest guys. You're so nice. You're so funny.
All that bullshit.
And then it builds up your confidence and you're like, all right, let's fucking go. Let's do this shit. And then nothing happens.
And then they just pull the chair right out of you, yeah.
Literally.
They pull the chair right out of you. Why was it inside?
We'll know what I mean.
It was deep inside.
But they'll do that and you're just sitting on the ground like, what did I do? And they go, oh, don't worry, it wasn't you. It's just I'm not ready. I'm not. And
they just
then,
wanted the
it's not you, it's
attention.
me.
Yeah.
And then a week later, they're already another relationship or something like that. I hate it when people do that.
I've seen that before.
They tell you they're not ready for a relationship, but the with you is silent.
Yeah, dog. I wish people would be straight up. Like there's a nice way to be straight up.
Dude, just tell me I'm not the one.
But see, here's the thing that
I've said it before.
Okay, but if a girl says, go ahead, Will.
I was about to say the thing that fucks me up is that it's what we were talking about before the show is that yeah, I have a Tinder, but I don't use it like other people do. I don't.
No.
Most people,
I feel you, Will.
When I have a Tinder, I'm looking for a relationship. That's what I'm looking for. I'm old enough and I'm to that point maturity-wise that I need. Sorry, I had to log into my computer so I can fucking see myself. What the hell?
You're looking for love and affection.
Yeah. No, the great thing about living in this day and age is you've got so many options, man.
Yeah.
You've got the online world. You've got stuff like Tinder, where it's like dating is a game. It's been reduced down to a science at this point.
I mean, it kind of is, yeah.
And so,
SPM, dude,
wrong.
swipes per minute.
Love is dating is a game. It is a science. But I'm at that point in my life where I'm mature enough that I know I don't want to mess. I'm tired of playing games and stuff like that. I'm looking for someone that I can spend my time proficiently, that I want to go on dates with. I want them to meet my family. I want them to hang out with the boys and me. I want them to hang out with my friends. I want them to like my friends as much as they like me, but still come home to me at the end of the night. and then I want to eventually end up marrying this said person. But what happens is people will come into my life and they'll show interest, they'll show affection, they'll show love, and then out of nowhere, like a curveball gets thrown in. Like, oh, I heard you cheated on me. No, show me facts. Oh, you're being toxic. Facts. Again, give me facts. Like, if you're gonna make an assumption,
you cheated on me. Facts. No, that was a question mark, not a period.
Yeah, if you're gonna assume me for doing something and you don't have hard evidence or like facts, that I did that, if I did said thing, then I'm sorry, I'm not
Facts
going
don't care
to
about
believe
your feelings, bro.
I pull I don't care.
I don't care.
I do not care.
Still don't care.
Yeah,
But, like,
Will's
that's
spit some facts here.
But like that's the thing.
Facts.
Is that like I'm at that point where it's like, you guys know my situation in college right now. I'm here for another semester and then I go on to graduate. And by that time, I'm going to be at that age where it's like most people are settling down or they're in that relationship with the person that they're going to settle
down. I got a question for you. Do you think the 1 semester is a long enough time for you to know whether or not it's your wife? Because if you think about it, what's a semester like? Man. 3 months?
3 months. Red flag test. Passed.
Exactly.
I say go for it.
Because I'm with Travis on that.
Better be fucking proactive about it, brother.
A semester is 3 months, and that passes the red flag test. At the end of that 3 months, if I'm with somebody, I will tell them, hey, just so you know, at the end of summer, I'm not gonna be in like where I'm at now. I'm going to grad, and that's distance depending on where you live. So if you're not cool with that, nothing's gonna happen. Like, we have to end it. If they're not cool with the distance, now I'm not saying I'm gonna be up there the entire time. I'll come back down to visit that when I have time. I'm gonna try to go to Penn State.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they have a great sports history program up there, which is what I'm actually writing my capstone on. And I found out what my capstone topic is gonna be, and it actually is going to be it's something I'm very interested in, and I'm very excited to do a capstone on it. I'm very excited for
I'm also excited about your capstone, but I'm more excited about what's happening in your palm when you're swiping right and left.
Oh,
you mean Tinder?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, brother. I want to hear everybody's Tinder stories.
Okay. So like what? Like the weirdest one or like the best one?
Whatever fits your boat.
I don't really use Tinder. I mean, I've never really gotten into it.
Yeah, Oliver, you were always very aversive to it. You were like,
yeah,
I'll find girls in the real world.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll find girls in the real world.
That's like okay. To be fair, finding girls on Tinder is probably easier. But like in the real world, if you actually do it, you gotta meet them. You like prove to yourself that you can actually do it.
Yeah, I mean, true.
So,
but like it goes hand in hand though. Like if you meet a girl on Tinder, I think like Tinder is more of just like they present themselves to you. You know, you still got to work for it. You still got to have the real life aspect.
I agree with that.
Yeah, but shooting your shot, like you basically like shoot a machine gun when you fire up Tinder.
Yeah,
you're just shooting shots all over the place.
I think with Tinder and stuff like that too, there's so many options out there now. So like, let's say I'm on Tinder for 15 minutes, I might get like 6 replies, right? I'm never gonna meet half these girls unless I really want to, and at that point in time, I didn't really try.
Oliver, you probably would get 6 replies.
Yeah, you fucking wrestler.
I'm just saying. I haven't like used it enough to even really know, but eventually, yes, you're right. I'm gonna have to meet them in real life, but I didn't go out and make the effort to meet them. They were just like gifted to me, which sometimes is how it works. But
like there's the natural
sometimes stuff just falls into your lap. That happens IRL. That can happen online.
But sometimes I like telling myself you gotta fucking do this and be a man and do it. So.
Like, how did Bailey happen? Fell into your lap, man. What, did you meet her at a party? Right?
Not really. She didn't really fall into my lap.
That was a lot of finagling, actually. It was a process.
It kind of like fell in my lap a little bit, but like there had to be something there before that happened. It was
well, yeah, I mean, but the initial like spark fell in your lap for sure.
Pretty much. It was her in the beginning, and then all of a sudden it became more me.
It started off with like Oliver being like, "That girl's cute." Like you know, whenever you're on the dating scene, you're kind of like going around and be like, "Oh, she's cute and she's like bearable." this girl's nice, and like we can have a conversation. So then that evolved, and then we found out that not only did Oliver think she was cute, but Bailey had the same feelings towards him. So and she came to me and she was like, "Does Oliver really like me?" Maybe,
at that point in time,
maybe.
I probably didn't, honestly. At that point in time, I probably was like curious about it, but I didn't I wasn't like balls deep yet. like all in.
Yeah, full send.
No, you are balls deep for a while, I hope.
You gotta try the milk before you buy the cow. I always say that, bro.
I don't know. I kind of respect people that wait for a while, though. It's kind of like they've waited for a while, but it like means a lot to them.
It's
nah,
whatever,
dude.
just, like, do
I
it
don't
whenever
think it's a
you
good
feel
thing.
it's right. Like, if it's the right girl, you'll like both feel the
It's
time
true.
it's right.
That's
It's
true.
a vibe
Also,
right off the bat. That's
It's
the
a
thing.
vibe, exactly. Like, you feel the electricity start happening between you, and you're like, it's gonna
Immediately.
happen this night.
Yeah. Like I feel like I kind of have a rule on that too. I'm gonna give it like 2 months max before we can hook up.
Giving it?
If
Max.
dude,
Max,
seriously.
After 2 months, you're like considering. Let's
Listen,
just end this.
I'm kind of like a superficial dickhead. You know, if she's got like
I mean, you said it, not me.
I don't want to say this because this is really, really rude, but I like an aesthetic vagina. I just do. And if that's not a thing, I don't know if I could deal with it.
For here.
I think in that situation, I could wait like up to 6 months is probably my cracking point.
But what if you found out that she has a literal atrocity behind her zipper?
I mean, I feel like at that point in time, I would kind of have a feeling beforehand, but I feel like the most.
How would you know?
Up to 6.
How would you know?
I mean, 2 months is only 2/3 of the way into the 3 months.
Think about
test.
it. If 6 months we're fucking, but if 2 months in I'm fingering, I have an idea.
I feel like that's
I know from more
Good
like
arguments for both
personality wise.
sides, too.
I mean, or you could eat her out, but
I love William's faces. I love her.
What the fuck are we into?
Well,
right
or
now?
like even if like, what if she just has a terrible hygiene? What if she just has terrible hygiene down there? Like,
then you smack her in
Then
the
yeah,
place.
that's
and you
like
say,
that's the
dude,
shit
that
that
is-
you don't pursue any longer. If it's 2 months, it's only
That's
2
true.
months, man. It's 2 months.
Yeah, that's
exactly.
true.
So like the
That's
2 month
fair.
rule kind of works because if you're 6 months invested into a girl and she just literally smells like the plague down there, then that's a problem.
yeah,
That's
it's hard
you
to get
can't
rid
go
of it
past
then.
that.
But also, like Oliver's saying, you're gonna know way earlier too. Like you're not
Probably.
gonna
Because
do
there's
nothing
steps.
until
No,
you
I'm
have
not
full
like-
steps. You're not gonna do nothing.
Yeah, that's
You're
fair.
gonna
I mean,
do
so, I
stuff.
mean, obviously, like if a girl wants to like not do anything for 6 months, I might be like, why? Unless she's like super religious or like something else for whatever
SV.
reason.
she's Mormon, you're fucked.
It's Mormon, dude. She's probably got more bodies than I do if she's Mormon.
Yeah, it's oral sex.
Only if she's
Oral
from
sex.
Utah.
No, she got one body, but she just shares it with a bunch of girls.
You know what?
Hey man,
You
sometimes
right?
if yeah.
It's not the size of the boat, it's the
This topic
motion
has just been
fucking-
blown open right now.
Like
what
what
was even
are
the original topic?
what's your
man.
rule, Will?
Me.
What's your rule? Like how long into the relationship do you
Before
not
what?
expect sex, but like, you know, you have
You gotta,
needs.
you gotta feel a vibe.
What?
So like when I first meet somebody, like I said with Travis, like I look for immediately off the bat. If I can't vibe with you immediately, or if you don't pass basically a vibe,
vibe
A
check.
vibe check.
A vibe
literally-
test, bro.
because literally like, I'll
That's
hang
fair.
out with you. Like I could hang out with the person and they can be chill as shit. But if I bring you around like my guys or something like that, and like
Oh,
you
yeah.
don't pass a vibe, like I'm
Dude.
sorry, that's a red flag right
The
there.
friend
Like,
group
what
test
is-
is huge. The friend group
Literally.
test is huge.
So there's that, and then I'd say I usually wait about. I think the longest I've waited was like 3 months before I did something, but I think the shortest I waited was
A day.
about like 2 weeks. So I'd say where I'm at
shortest.
now is like I'll wait about a month before I start trying stuff with them. I'd say about a month and a half.
Now, if a girl hooks up with you day one, is that like a bad
Mhm.
thing for you? Because you don't.
Depends on the
Okay.
vibe.
So
If we're both
if she
feeling
hooks up with me day one,
Caution out the window.
Travis, your cat. Travis, your cat.
Your
I
cat,
know,
your
it's
cat's
just
in the back.
so
of the-
cute.
There, oh,
That's
she's gonna lay down.
adorable.
That's cute.
So
Yeah.
if she hooks up with me day one, there's two thoughts that go in my head. One, she's just seeing me for like looks, so it's not gonna last long. Like she just thinks I'm
But
attractive
if
enough.
she still wants to pursue it further after that, you might as well go for it.
Exactly.
Like
Like
when
if
Liam
she's
asked,
just
wait,
like
yeah,
if
name
she's
drop, never
just
mind.
in that mood for that day, and then afterwards she keeps that same vibe, then I'll fuck with it. But if
Mhm.
she does it day one and then I get ghosted or it doesn't feel the same afterwards, I'm sorry. I'm letting you.
For sure.
Yeah, if that P word
Sure.
is weak sauce, I'm not about it.
Getting ghosted really
PW,
sucks,
bro.
too. Like, can't say I haven't done it before, but also having it done to me really sucks.
Oh yeah.
On Tinder, I invited a girl over, and Travis and Oliver know this story, so I'm
Oh,
telling it to the
God.
audience and Will here.
Oh God.
I
already
met,
know the I already know the catchphrase.
One of my friend's ex-girlfriends came over to my suite at the time, because I lived on campus, and I met her on Tinder, and she seemed like she was really cool. She was decent looking, like meh, whatever. But I was really desperate at the time, so I was like, I'm gonna full send this.
I know that time of desperation where you start simping.
It's kind of like whenever you're really hungry, but you're not in the mood for anything that you have, so you keep just lowering your standards. That was the kind of thing that I did on Tinder.
And eventually you're like,
Wow.
man, I guess I'll have a Raisin Bran cereal.
Dude, just throw them under the bus.
So she comes over, and I don't know what it is with every single girl that I've kind of dated to this point. They often try to play house with me, so I'll hang out with them for a day, and then we'll make out or we'll go farther than that, and they'll just want to play house. They just want to stay for as long as they can. And this
As
girl,
the person who lived in the room with him, this was really fun.
well, this girl, like she, had classes and I had classes, and eventually, after the first night of her sleeping over, I was cool with that. And then she was like, "Can I stay a little bit longer?" I was like, "For the next hour, yeah, until I have class." She's like, "No, I want to stay the night again." I was like, "Fuck." She doesn't want to leave, does she?
And
So
you
this-
wanted her to leave by that point, I think.
I was done. Like I've already filtered her. I've had Raisin Bran once, and I'm like, I know why I didn't want this at first.
See?
So she came in and she just didn't leave for so long. I don't understand why. It was 2 days in, and eventually I had to sit there with the bros and brainstorm. I didn't know what to do. How do you get rid of a girl that just wants to play house with you? She wouldn't leave for classes. She showered at my place and wore the same clothes twice. So she
Without mentioning names, what's the nickname we gave this girl?
I think her name is within the nickname. I don't really remember
Oh.
it
And
though.
someone else's name is in the nickname.
It wasn't Pill Popper.
No, that was all a
Damn.
one-night ordeal, and then the rest was over phone and text message.
But this girl just wouldn't leave me alone at all. I don't.
I think I know what you're
I
talking
didn't
about.
understand that. Like,
I couldn't tell her to leave though, so I think what I did was I went to my current girlfriend. But we weren't dating at the time. I went over to her place and I was just like, how do I get rid of her? So I just stayed there for a couple hours, and eventually when I came back, she was gone.
got the memo.
Yeah. We
Did you
did
go there,
good.
wait from class and just leave her?
Travis, you have an insane fucking Tinder story.
Which one?
The Crimson Chin girl.
Oh, yeah. You mean with the fake
Yes,
story?
yes.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking of
Do
that one
this.
too. Okay, yeah. So, I am at the exact same point as Brandon, actually, in this story, where the desperation has overcome me. And I start at 2 in the morning at a particularly low, desperate moment, talking to her on Tinder. And then we actually had a pretty decent conversation. She wasn't bad at the conversation part of it, but then I invite her to hang out. And I'm like, cool, well, let's just meet up at my place, and then we can go take a walk on the canal, whatever. go eat, whatever. So she shows up, and like, I have never seen somebody on Tinder disguise their pictures as well as this person to make themselves like look better in their pictures, because she pulled up looking like straight trash. Like, straight, looked a mess, was like chain smoking cigarettes. Literally, I shit you not, she hocked a loogie in the parking lot as she jumped out of her car on her way to the steps, just hocked a loogie in our parking lot of like nasty smoker, phlegmy loogie. Disgusting. And that just turned me off immediately. If the rest of her appearance and everything didn't already, that turned me off immediately. So now I'm like stuck with her. And we're just like hanging out in the living room. I'm like, I don't actually like want to go anywhere. So I just like decided I'm not going to mention anything about like any of the activities I had suggested. And we're just going to sit there and I'm going to see how long it takes her to leave. Well, the hours pass. We're just sitting there talking. The hours pass. We're just sitting there talking. And it's gotten to the point where Brandon and Oliver and the whole gang is getting off work. So I like, as I'm talking, like I'm just playing with my phone, right? And discreetly text Brandon and tell him to make up a crazy story to get her to leave. And I'm like, be creative. And that's all I sent. And he gets home and like runs upstairs and he's got Oliver and like Mel. They're all freaking out. They're like, you need to come with us right now. Travis Morgan's been in a car accident. We need to go to the hospital. And I'm like, and I like already had sent this preemptive text, so I knew to play along. I'm like, oh my God, are you serious? Do we know how bad it is? They're like, no, we don't know anything. We need to go right now. They're going to tell us all the details. And I'm like, oh my God. And I like turned to her. I'm like, I'm so sorry, but like, I gotta go to the hospital. And she's like, oh no, it's fine. Just let me know if he's okay. I couldn't tell if she bought it or not. Don't really care. Never talk to her again. Boom. It was the greatest heist in history. Did
she hit you up after that?
No, not at all. Nothing. Radio silence after that from both parties.
That's what I kind of figured, yeah.
We like hopped in the car, like peeled out, drove around the neighborhood, and parked and went back in the house. We're like, fooled that bitch.
Like, did you watch her leave?
Yeah, she came out right behind us, man. We like peeled out like we were all in a hurry to go to the hospital. Turned onto the road with 7-Eleven. Turned back into the neighborhood, looped back around, parked back at Sandpiper.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, she did not know what was up.
I feel like she like had an inkling, maybe, that it
yeah, she was probably like, all right, this is crazy.
But like, what are you gonna say? You're lying. Like you're there the first day hanging out with somebody and you're just gonna call them out.
That's
no,
true,
it was genius. It was genius. I commend them. That was a good one.
I texted you and I was like, bro,
immediate emergency.
You've got to play along so well. I'm coming in full sending this like travesty mode.
Yeah. He was like, I'm really sicko moding this.
Oliver, do you have a crazy Tinder story, or should I tell?
Not really. Like I said, every now and then I get like bitches hit me up and then like ask me about my profile or like just like random shit. But I never really like went super full send on it, so I never really used it. So I don't really have a story from it.
Bitches hit me up. That's his Tinder story.
Dude, bitches on my dime.
So I think the craziest one that happened to me was so me and like in high school, like I was pretty much like an outcast. Like I didn't look my best. I didn't try to look my best. I wasn't really like I was fit because I was fit because I wrestled and I played hockey. So like I was physically fit, but like up here I did not fucking at all.
Don't care.
I had long hair. I didn't care. I
don't
didn't care at all. And so like I was seen as like an outcast. I was seen as like the ugly kid pretty much. I
feel like we all went through that time.
I had braces and everything, but like I would still try to like hit up people and like try to like talk to people and shit like that. I was still trying to talk to people. Sorry. You all know what's going on. But so like I was like trying to like talk to people. And so like there was this one chick, and I mean she was smoking hot. Played softball, was like a cheerleader.
Ooh, both of those worlds.
Like she was like in the fall, she was a cheerleader. In like in the spring, she played amazing. Like she was hot. 10 out of fucking 10.
Ooh,
Okay.
okay. He says the F bomb
Paint a
on
good
it.
picture here.
10 out of fucking 10.
Fat ass.
10 out of fucking 10.
Dude, you sound like someone from a movie saying that right there. 10 out of fucking 10.
10 out of fucking 10. But so like I tried like
Nice
talking
pun.
to her like my junior year, and like I still had long hair, I had braces, like I was in a horrible position. And she was like, "Oh my god, ew, what? Who the fuck are you? Like you are no."
Fuck
No,
her.
honey, no. And I was like, I was devastated, absolutely devastated. So then it was after all that like I realized that like I need to upkeep all this shit. So like I got my haircut to like the way I wear it now and all that. And so I got it to where I wear it now, and everything was fine. I graduated high school, everything. And then like when I was 21 or something like that, before I got back into the dating, I got on Tinder. So that was my entry. And so I'm still living at home and had all that. And everything's going fine on Tinder. Like I'll match with talk, all that stuff. And I come
Go
across
on any dates?
Yeah, I went on dates. I went on a couple dates. It was actually nice. Like they never went anywhere, but like body count went up a little bit. So I wasn't gonna argue. So I was like swiping through Tinder, and like I matched with this chick, and I was like, oh my gosh, like you're really cute, like all that stuff, like where you live, all that stuff. Like it was like your general like get to know each other conversation, like where you from, all that stuff.
Yeah.
It didn't cross my mind because like she was the same age as me. It didn't cross my mind to ask her where she went to high school. So I asked her on a date. Everything was fine. Like I meet up with her. We're talking on the date, and I was like, so then it finally dawned on me at the date, like, so like where'd you go to high school? And she was like, oh, I went to Hedgesville. I graduated in 2014. I was like, no way, I did too. And she was like, oh my gosh, how come I never saw you? And I was like, I don't know, I was pretty much of an outcast and stuff like that. And she paused for a second, and she was like, I have to tell you a story. I'm like, okay. Like I was thinking like, okay, we're gonna get into a big conversation, that story, and like connect a little bit more. So she tells this story, and she was like, in high school, like about my junior year, there was this really fucking weird kid that came up to me, and like he had long hair, braces, all that stuff. And
what
he
the
was
fuck?
He was like such a fucking weirdo, and like she tore my ass up.
She
like
thinks
she
to bring up that story. Did she do it on purpose?
She talked so down on me, and so I'm just sitting there and I'm keeping straight face, like I'm like I see.
Dude, I'd be about to tell someone off.
And she like went off on it, and she was like, I mean, like I don't know what his name was or all that. And like she just finished her story. I'm like, wow, that's really crazy. Like, do you not remember anything else? He said he had races, and I was like, races in high school too, and all that. And she was like, I think he was on like the wrestling team or something like that. I was like, I mean, I wrestled too, and I don't remember ever seeing a kid like that. And she was like, I can't remember his name, anything like that. And so like after the date, like I did not say anything at the date. And so like after the date, like she invited me over to her place. Everything was fine. And so she tried to remember that. She remembered that conversation. She's like, wait, I have a yearbook from 2013. So maybe we can find this kid. And I was like, all right, bet, let's find this kid. Like, I want to see this. I want to see this weirdo. Like, I jumped on that train. I'm like, let's find this fucking weirdo. Let's fucking do it. And so like we like go home, she finds her yearbook, and so we're sitting in like her living room and stuff like that, and she's flipping through the pages. She gets to the juniors, and like she's like, "There's me," and I was like, "Oh yeah, I think I might have seen you around or something like." And so then she like flips through like the wrestling section where it shows like all of our names, and like it has pictures of us, and she like points to him, and then she like finds his name, and it says it's me, of course.
Yeah.
And so then she like chose to try to find a picture of me, and she was like, "That's him. That's the fucking creep that like tried to ask me out." And I was like, "Dude, he is fucking ugly."
What a
You
handsome
not
cunt.
realize?
Yeah, did you not realize?
No, and she was like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Dude, I wonder what he looks like now. Let's look him up or something like that." And she was like, "I bet he has an Instagram. Let's see how ugly he is now." And, dude, let's fucking do it. And so she typed in my fucking name on Instagram while I'm sitting next to her. She typed in, and she was like, "I think this is him." And she clicks on my Instagram, and then like she like looks through his pictures, and she was like, "Oh my god." And she like just goes silent, and I was like, "Did you finally figure it out?" And she was like, I hate to break it to you, but that's me." And she was like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "That kid that you just made fun of our entire for asking you out in high school, that was me." And she was like, "No, it wasn't." I'm like, yeah, it was." And she was like, "Oh my god, like you've changed so much." I'm like, "Yeah, but that fucking hurts so bad." And she tried to apologize the rest of the damn night. After that, I was done. Like I walked out, and she was like I think like a week later, she tried to like ask me to date. After what you pulled, I'm sorry,
no.
hon.
Oh my
no
god,
way.
that's
The
insane.
fact that she like had the thought somehow to bring up that story.
Well, like we were telling stories back and forth.
Oh wait, hey, Will,
But
can you
like
do me a
of
favor
all
real
the
quick?
stories you could have told,
What's up?
man.
Can you go and we're just gonna keep rolling. Click on your user settings. Just a quickie. And then the your input sensitivity, turn off the automatically, and then move that all the way to the left.
All the way.
All the way to the
All
left.
the way.
Okay, how's that?
Great. You just kept cutting out because your mic wasn't detecting you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're okay. You're okay.
But yeah, that was my story.
Damn, that's fucked. That bitch was talking shit on you to your
know,
face.
Right? Like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like, that's so- that's
how
so shitty.
dumb. How far did she? Man, she got so far before she like realized it. She didn't even realize it. You had to tell her.
She
What
was
a dumb
really dumb
bitch.
about it. And so like I get home after the date, and I tell my mom that story, and she literally looks down. She's like, "What a fucking dumb bitch."
What a dumb bitch.
And my
You're
mom's
dumb.
like, "Do you want a glass of wine?" My mom's like, "Do you want a glass of wine after that?" I'm like, "I might need a whole bottle of Malibu."
I'm gonna need a whole one.
Damn.
I need a whole
And she was
bottle
like-
to myself.
She was like, "Here's $20. Go to the liquor store and buy one." I'm like, "Thanks, mom."
So
Damn.
I have a relationship advice,
Oh gosh.
or do we want to do the Dr. SpinShootImpress email?
Doctor. The
Let's.
one we got.
Yep.
All right, I guess we can do the email. Who's it from?
It's anonymous. They asked to remain anonymous.
Anonymous.
But you know who it's from, though, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna take a wild guess, but I'm not gonna say it.
Don't.
What is
Right.
everyone's personal way of dealing with rejection? P.S. Poopy Gandhi.
So who is this? Is this Jay? Is this like what the? I already know who it is.
What is
now.
everybody's personal way of dealing with rejection?
Forget it. Like,
Yeah, you can
On
move.
to the next. Don't let it get you down.
I think it kind
My
of
way of dealing with
depends. Are
everything.
you talking about like rejection like right away, or like rejection later on? Like
You
right
can
away?
you can take that in a bunch of different ways. You can take that like job rejection, life rejection, girl rejection, but I think he's going for the girl rejection part.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of tough at first because if you really like that girl and you're really into it, especially if you guys have been like clicking for like a little bit first, because then you've already like built these connections, and then you just get rejected. All of a sudden you're like, you feel like a little depleted, but like it's not gonna knock me down. Like I'll get back up and go after it again. Like
When life knocks you down,
There's-
just get back up.
there's more.
Knocks
You
you
know,
down.
there's more. You know, there's one fish. There's a whole school of fish. So like you can find more.
I
True.
think it's exactly what Oliver said. What I do personally is whenever I'm talking to a girl, I don't invest all my marbles in her until like it gets pretty serious. I think every person that I talk to is just a casual connection that I'm making until it is proven to me otherwise. That way, if she rejects me, I'm like, oh, okay, on to the next one. I have no problems with it. And then I can casually, what I'll do is I'll friend zone her harder than she friend zones me. And eventually she'll see that like she'll want to date me because she doesn't like the fact that she's being treated like a friend. She'll miss the flirty side of me.
That's good because you're like weeding them out then.
Exactly. Like that's what, at the end of the day, that's what dating is. It's a huge sorting machine that you're going through, and it's like once you pick out the bullshit ones, the bullshit M&Ms that have dents and they didn't properly print the M on them, you get the correct ones, the ones that taste right.
They all taste like M&Ms though, man.
Might have to break out the glasses for this input on this one.
Oh,
yeah, you going sexy nerd right now?
I'll wait for Travis and then I'll go sexy nerd.
Okay. Yeah, I used to get, way too overly attached to girls when I was with them in any kind of capacity, whether it was talking or dating or like official boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. I was just way too attached. And because of that, I didn't handle rejection well, the inevitable rejection at the end. I did not handle it well. I was like just full sending it way too fast. And I vowed never to be like that again. So I found out the whole, just forget it right away and move on. Shit happens. Can't stop it from happening. It already happened, Just move on.
On to the
next one. On to the next adventure. Boom.
The dope thing about rejection is like you now know where you stand. There's no question mark on it anymore. You're not living in
There's no like anxiety about it.
Exactly. It might suck, but like at the end of the day, you're not in limbo anymore.
It's like the clarity talks, bro. You have a clarity talk, find out where you are.
Clarity talks are lit. People like dread clarity talks. I love clarity talks.
You can lay all the marbles on the table.
Dude, he's stretching. He's stretching. Look at that shit.
Dude, clarity talks are a real thing, though.
Oh, they definitely are. We'll talk about those, but let's hear Will.
So, I'm in the same boat as Travis. I grew up as an only child, so I didn't really have like siblings or anything like that. So I dealt with my parents head on. So it was either a yes or a no when I asked for something. So I never really took rejection well from my parents, but I learned to adapt from that. But that didn't carry over to relationships because, again, I wasn't an attractive person as like a kid. So I still thought I was hot shit because I wrestled, played hockey. I thought I was the shit. But when you get rejected, it hurts all that confidence that you built up about yourself.
Yeah.
So it fucks up your confidence. It fucks up your ego. And if you spend and invest a lot of time in somebody and they shoot you down, you hit a point where you don't think you can come back from. You hit that low point which most people might consider like rock bottom, but it's not really rock bottom, but you feel like you're there and you feel like it's the hardest climb to get back up, which is why some people, like after they get rejected, they won't talk to anybody or go on a date or get in a relationship for like a while. And I was the same way. I would put so much time and invest so much time in a person. And then if I get shot down, it'd be like months, or as later on came on, like it'd be a year or two before like I ever tried to flirt or try to get back with somebody or something like that. But as I grew older, I realized that not everybody's gonna like you. I get that, but
and you have to be okay with that. You have to like sit there and like make a mental note that like I don't like everybody that I meet. I don't vibe with everybody that I meet, and that's okay.
Exactly.
There's no problems with that.
Yeah, think of all the people who have liked you and you haven't liked them back. Like, it's got to happen to you sometimes, too.
Some people think about it, though.
Exactly.
Like if they're that confident and that like about themselves and stuff that any person can like them. Like some people think of it like that.
I hate those people. I honestly hate those
I'm not
people.
saying I'm
You
like that.
think
I'm
of
just
it
saying
like
people
that?
think.
Fucking
No, I
hate you,
don't.
Oliver.
I don't. No, I totally get it if every single person doesn't like me or doesn't like how I act or my personality. Totally fine. Nothing wrong with them. I have nothing against them. Like, I'll be nice to them until they tell me I shouldn't be nice to them or prove to me they shouldn't.
True.
But
Exactly. But I hate people that think that they're hot shit. They think everybody on God's green earth likes them. And it's like, as a matter of fact, here's a shocker. Not everybody in the world's going to fucking like you.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to get a handle on that. But with Travis, what he said about clarity talks, when it comes to like, if you've been in a relationship and then I guess like the rejection count is like a breakup, like those clarity talks can help so much, because once you get broken up with, or once you get rejected after investing so much time in somebody, you get those questions that pop into your head. Like, what did I do wrong? Was it something I said? Was it something I did? Like, you start questioning what you did, not what they might have done. And so those clarification talks with people really help with that. And I've had that before where I've gotten out of a relationship, but I thought I was the main cause. But then after the clarification talk or the closure talk or the clarity talk, like, you realize that it was not just you, but it was them and you.
It always
was
takes
both
two to
sides.
tango in a relationship, man.
Yep.
Exactly.
Always takes
It's
two to
true.
tango.
And that's the
But-
default thinking that you need to have. It's like just
Exactly.
it takes two.
Yeah, that's true. Clarity talks are big.
It's
Huge.
rare to find a good clarity talk after a breakup, so like I commend you, because a lot of people just can't handle it maturely enough to have a clarity
People
talk
have
post breakup.
people have like anxiety about them too. Like, everyone's super scared that they're gonna be like rejected in those clarity talks.
I was thinking more clarity talks like in the first little bit of the relationship where you're like, how do we feel
Where
about
you
each
tell
other?
them
Where are we
everything
going
about
with this?
you.
What's the next step?
Oh,
That's-
dude,
okay,
that is
that's
so
fair.
important. Listen,
Yeah.
like if you need to be on the same damn page with things, you
Yeah,
need to
same
tell them
wavelength.
what you expect out of a relationship. Like, this is how I roll. Not like expect, because that makes it sound like like too much. But like, for example,
Controlling.
you know, for example, like in a relationship, I value two individuals coming together to essentially take over the world. So we still have our individuality, we still do our own things, we still have our own friends, but at the end of the day, we're going to be sleeping with each other. You know, and just having these conversations, knowing and telling them that you're not going to be walked all over like you did in the past or for whatever reason. It's like you set expectations that will carry throughout the relationship. And if they think that you're a different person, then you're like, oh, well, I told you in the beginning, I don't know what you're on about right now.
My big thing is like telling people about the past, because I was always scared to tell people about like what I had been through. And that's what I dealt with in the last relationship I was in. I had just gotten out of like that depressive era of my life.
Mm-hmm.
So my big thing, my big step, the breaking point, the make or break moment of that relationship was going to be when I had to sit down and tell them like, hey, I went through this shit and I still have those scars. I still have all of that stuff that like I had during that era. And so if you're not fine with that, then I'm sorry, this won't work. And so one of the first times that my ex had saw like the scars was we started dating in the summer, and first time she had saw like some of the scars that I had on my back, it was when we went swimming in our pool that we had when we still lived out in Hedgesville. And her reaction was probably one of the most, I want to say like heart-wrenching in like a good way. Like, it was a wholesome, like it made my heart happy. And it was, I had gotten into the pool and like she had saw like all the stuff that was like on my back, like all the markings, all that stuff. And I just got one of the biggest hugs I had ever gotten in my life.
Dude,
And
being
it was
vulnerable
because
is
she had
huge.
saw that.
Damn.
And that's a big
That was a
point.
good response.
That's a big, like, it was one of the best responses I had because I was so scared at that point. Like, if she would have saw that and then not talked to me for the rest of like my life, I would have understood completely. But the way she responded made that relationship 100%.
Yeah. I don't know. Everybody's
So
got
it's
demons,
being
man.
able to.
It's
That's
just-
touching.
Everybody does.
It's like you
It is,
have
it's
to
very
be
wholesome.
open about it, and if you can't be open with a person, like what's the point of being with them or associating yourself with them? It's tough.
If I can't be open with you, it's hard.
It's a tough situation for everybody involved, but it's like
We're all open books, bro.
yeah, you have to be able to deal with it. Now, I'm not saying so. There's a difference though for people that don't understand is like you meet those people that like day one put all of their issues on you, and you're like, I was not fucking ready for the fact that your dad beat you. Sorry, brother.
Like it's almost like they can't wait to talk about it to the next person.
Hi,
Yeah.
my name is. I was gonna use one of our friends' names. My name is Allison, and my dad beats me. How are you? I'm just like, what the fuck, bitch? Like what?
Yeah, that's not a good intro.
And a lot of them seem so nonchalant about it. I don't know what to say.
Because they're used to it, I guess. Like some people have like
Sorry?
really like messed up past. Like, by the way, this happened when I was younger. I'm like, "Oh, okay from it, and they're like, yeah, I'm fine. Like they just openly talk about it, so they're fine about it.
I've always like felt bad that I didn't have so much trauma in my past. I don't know.
Why do you feel guilty about it?
Why do you feel
can't be like,
guilty?
I can't be like empathetic to anybody about it because I had nothing
that's-
bad happen to me.
I guess that's fair. Like if you haven't really been through it, it's tough to like try to put yourself in their shoes.
Yeah, I think
So-
that's something that, and I don't think this is a bad thing, but like, because you're a great person just in general, Travis. But I think that is something that you've missed along the way is the empathy for people that have gone through stuff, and that's the only reason is just because you just haven't gone through anything that was like super detrimental to your
Like,
mental state.
I'm thankful for that for sure, but
Yeah.
And like I think like if people have been through that in the past and you haven't, it takes like time to like learn like how they were actually feeling during those times to like be like sympathetic.
It's something that's hard to understand. It's hard to
Yeah.
understand what people have gone through. It's hard telling people what I've gone through because like I know not every person has gone through what I have. So it's difficult to like,
it's-
tell people
yes.
that because you don't know how they're gonna take it, especially if it's a person like Travis who hasn't gone through it personally or something like that. Like you don't know how they're gonna take it. So you're scared to say that. So you hesitate. And hesitation is sometimes good, but sometimes it's bad.
I think you, at the end of the day, if I had to tell you anything, Will, is like you're a great guy, and I think you have great qualities. You make everybody laugh around you. You're very charismatic, and look at you, you're fucking handsome, bro.
yeah,
Just
who wouldn't accept you as a friend no matter what?
Yeah.
Was in your past?
like
Honestly,
everything happens to everybody, and like like let's say that they're not going to be vulnerable. Like okay, whatever, but you just that's something that's important to you, and if you want somebody else to be a part of your life and that's something that they need to know, then so be it. They should
go
accept
from
you
there.
if they cared, but if they don't care, then
Exactly.
you know where you stand.
it's a lot
Or
like the next thing earlier. There's going to be a time where you both just know, like it's time to talk about this, and you will, and you'll just know because you guys are good for each other. Whoever it may be.
Exactly.
it's just me and it's the Brandon Oliver show right
Yeah,
now.
it's a BO back again.
The
Nah,
BO
we'll
show. Let's go, brother.
yeah, when my dad first heard that name, he was like, "What does that stand for? Body odor?" And I was like, "No."
Well, that's what.
terrible.
Isn't that what we wanted to do? Was like as like a joke. Like we
Yeah,
thought it was
I
funny.
mean, it's that way it's memorable. People can look at it and be like, "Oh, BO, it must smell. Let's listen to it."
Let's listen to it. It smells like shit, brother.
Yeah, and then we kind of like basically changed it when Trav came along because he basically like just did it with us every week, and we just kept the show. I mean,
For people that don't know, we started off because we had a radio class together.
yes.
And then we
You
had
got
the
bitched
Brandon
at in that
Oliver
class for no
show.
reason.
Why did I get bitched at?
Because you were like talking to me in class, and our teacher was like, "You shouldn't be talking about your teacher's talking." I'm like, bro, you
Yeah.
literally told us to like fill out a schedule to see when we could do the recording.
We were
And you
working out
like,
logistics.
I know, he was so annoyed. I was like, bro, like what? I was like, whatever.
So we started off with the Brandon and Oliver show, and then we evolutionized into
Bless you.
it was myself, Travis, and Oliver, and then we made it the Real Sensitive Guys.
Yep.
we would just have guests on there every single week, and then
we had
decided
Morgan
to
a
do
lot.
this.
Morgan came on a lot. Yeah.
Literally came up with that name off that stupid meme from freshman year.
What was the meme?
The like real sensitive guy hours.
Okay. I mean, it's like I don't know anybody else that has that name for a show, so it's unique.
Like they were doing all these real blank hours memes, and real sensitive guy hours is one that we found. Just
I mean,
thought it was funny.
I mean, we're real, we're sensitive, and we're guys. All the check marks,
all the criteria.
Well, it doesn't mean I want to have some females on here, like. Eventually, when this gets clout, which it will.
We're not gonna discriminate against guests. We want any and all guests we can possibly have.
How many?
If you're interesting and have something to say, come on the show.
How many screens can you have on this?
As much as I need to, but the problem is I just don't want to have like an extreme amount of people, because I already feel like, I mean, this is just me because I like attention. We're all kind of fighting for like a little bit of talk time because it's 4 of us. So 5 is going to be a lot, but 6 is just, I don't think we could do that.
Oh, yeah. I think it's a 1 to maybe 2 guest basis.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, you have, like, Elvis Duran. There's, like, 5 of them.
True. I think we're pretty good about giving each other, like, time talking, though. It's not like Will talking for 40 minutes straight, you know?
True.
Only 30. No, I'm just kidding.
No, but we're flowing pretty well. Looks like William's back with his hot cocoa. Oliver, would you like to get this started? Your mic's
still working well. Topic, brother.
Caramel.
So this is kind of a weird one. Best time to see or be in an awkward situation.
What do you mean by that? Can you give us like an example of what you would say?
So like, I'm trying to think. Like when you see like a fight break out between 2 couples fighting, was that something you want to be in, or you just want to sit in the silence and watch like a girl fight break out? Like I wouldn't want to watch, but like I don't know. That's just an example.
It depends.
I feel like I wouldn't step in on someone else's fight. I like to let them sort their own relationships.
Okay, I guess that's a good way to put it. Like, would you want to step into the situation and be part of it, or just like sit
if it was
and watch?
About to become a physical fight?
Yes, I would step in. If it's about to become physical,
yeah,
I would definitely step in.
I don't know, bro.
It depends if I need them.
If it's
That's
just
true.
a guy and a girl, and I can
if I knew them, obviously,
ready to become physical, I am fucking him up.
I hear my favorite thing in the world
if I lose.
is pussy pass denied. There's a subreddit which essentially the whole thing is girls, punching dudes, and then the guy will like hit them back. I think it's acceptable once a girl is like using an extreme force on a dude and he just slaps the shit out of her, just to remind her that there's a strength difference between the two. You don't get a pass on hitting people just because you have a pussy.
This is some fucking controversial shit we're diving into.
That's just how it is.
I was about to say,
if a girl is punching the shit out of you, I say you can defend yourself. Now I'm not saying you beat the fuck out of her, especially if there's a big strength differential. Like if
there's that big of a strength differential, you don't need to slug her in the face. You can just like restrain her.
I don't know, man.
Push her up against the wall.
I don't know. You give like a good slapping, and I'm about that.
I mean, yeah, that will definitely end the conflict. I'm not arguing that, but I don't know if it's needed.
Gotta teach her a lesson,
I'm
I'm not saying women beating's okay. I'm just saying that like if she's slugging on you.
Look, there's domestic abuse for men and women.
What's that, Oliver?
There's domestic abuse for men and women. So like a man can beat up a woman, there's domestic violence. A woman can beat up a man, there's domestic violence. It goes both ways.
Well, yeah.
How do you feel, Will?
Feel about hitting people?
Hitting women specifically. if they're like hitting you really hard, like just trying to beat, like literally trying to kill you, like with their bare hands. What are you doing?
I will fuck them up. If they're trying to kill me, I will defend myself.
Depends.
That's the mentality that I had when I wrestled, because wrestling.
Dude, I bet people got way too aggressive in wrestling and like legit was like,
dude, that's the point.
I had people say it to me in lacrosse. People get way too fucking serious about sports.
And like
it's a way of life.
Wrestling
man.
was like the way wrestling was is like every once in a while I wrestled against 3 girls. And like each time, like you're in that mentality is like if I lose to a girl, everyone's gonna say, "Well, oh shit, you lost to a girl." But if I win
It's a
against a girl,
lose-lose
they're gonna,
situation.
yeah, you say like, "Oh, why'd you beat her up so bad?" So like, I didn't care. At the end of the
I
day,
do
my
not
point
care.
was to win the match.
Fair enough.
That was my point.
Fair enough,
But
man.
if anyone, man or woman, is trying to kill me and I feel terrified for my life, I will defend myself in any way possible.
Fair enough.
Now,
The rules of engagement are different,
if a girl makes me mad, like if she like rejects me or if she calls me like a dumbass or something like
Rejection?
that, I'm not gonna smack her upside the head.
No.
I'm not.
It's not what we're
No.
advocating here. We're not advocating
If she,
anything here,
like-
actually.
If she
By the way.
splashes water in my face or splashes wine or a drink in my face, I'm not gonna like beat the shit out of her. No, I'm not gonna do that. But like if you like punch me in the face, like I'm not talking a slap. I'm talking if you punch me in the face, or if you like if you draw blood on me, I'm sorry. Like that's telling my defenses to kick in and say, okay, someone's trying to harm me. I'm
True.
not gonna let this happen.
Yeah, I agree. Pussy
That's
pass
my
denied.
TikTok.
So have you, though, ever gotten, like, death threats in wrestling? Like somebody who was, like, pissed that you were beating them or something like that? Just like, I'm going to kill you.
Nah, I never got that either.
In high school, it was my sophomore year. I had wrestled against some kid from Independence High School in West Virginia, and this kid, like the first few meetings I'd met, like the first year, my sophomore year, I wrestled him about 3 times and I beat him all 3 times.
Nice.
And like they were bad. Like I think Oliver will understand these rules. I beat him the first time by a major.
Okay.
The second time I won by fall, and then the
tech
third
fall?
time I won by. No. The first time a fall is a pin,
Okay. Because we don't call it
and
pins,
then
but I got you.
and then the third time was by tech fall.
I gotcha. Yeah, those are
like-
insane to get.
So like I fucked this kid's like ego up. Like I fucked his self-confidence up. Like I literally embarrassed him. And so like after the last one, he was like, I'm coming for you next year. Like I'm gonna kill you. Like I am gonna fuck your shit up. And so
Oh my
like the
God.
first meeting next year, like we go in and we do the handshake, and like I feel his grip is like really hard. So I'm like,
Oh,
okay, he's here
God.
to wrestle.
He's
I was
here
like,
to
all right,
wrestle.
this
Big
kid's ready to
guy.
wrestle. And so like the first thing he does is like he gets a grip like right on the back of my neck. Like he slams like his hand down the back of my neck. I'm like, boy, you do not want this smoke. I'm sorry, you're getting fucked up. And so like he tries to go in for like takedown stuff like that. He's not getting it, so he's getting more aggravated. And Oliver can attest to this. Like if you're making good shots and stuff like that, you're gonna end up getting mad. Like if you
Well,
can't like pull it through.
Yeah, they have a good sprawl.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
like if like this kid kept trying to keep going and like he was not getting any edge wise. So like he just kept getting mad. So then like at one point during the match, like he just literally ran and just tried to like tackle me.
Mhm.
And like he did, he tackled me and like it pushed me out of bounds over to the next mat. And so I get up and I'm talking to the ref. I'm like, are you seeing this? Like this kid's literally trying to cause like physical harm. Like he's not trying to wrestle, he's trying to hurt me. And so the ref's like, he's like, I'll keep an eye on it. Like,
Yeah.
I'll make sure I watch for it next time. And I'm like, there's not
Yes.
going to be a next time because by the next time, he's actually going to harm me. So finally, I took matters in my own hands, and this kid, like, tried to go in for a grip. And what ended up happening was I had slipped behind him somehow. I did a ducked
check
under
his
the
oil?
arms, Oliver.
The duck and booth.
Yeah,
thing.
Ducked under the
you.
arms. Ducked under the arms, and then went behind, got a grip, and suplexed him.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
Watch
and
out!
fucked
Watch
him
out!
up, and I got a pin on him. And so then after that, my coach was like, what the fuck was all that about? I'm like, I don't know, just let me go get some water. And
Yeah.
this kid was screaming at the refs that I suplexed him. Then I got my hand raised. He was pissed about that. He didn't even shake the ref's hand,
Ooh.
my hand, or my coach's hand. Like
What a
he was
little
pissed.
baby.
He went back to his coaches his coaches were yelling at him for the bullshit that he had done, and he was yelling back at him. Kid got
That's
kicked
not
off the team.
wrestling.
I found that out
Damn.
like by next meet. He got kicked off the team.
Oh my
That's
god,
crazy.
that's insane.
I was like, I'm sorry, bud, but you came to wrestle. I fucking fired back.
All right,
Yeah.
guys.
Showed him.
This will be the last one because we just hit over the hour mark. I, female
Not talking
20,
about Bufu though.
am having a hard time initiating sex with my boyfriend due to my inexperience and low libido. That's the title. My boyfriend and I have been together for a little over 2 years. I've only been with 2 other sexual partners and find myself not knowing how to touch a man. Do you know of any realistic sources of advice for learning how to do so? So we're going to be her sources for today. In addition to my inexperience, my boyfriend does not seem to have a very high sex drive. He is also relatively sensitive about being touched because he is quite ticklish. I have talked to him about how I feel and that I want to be more engaged in our sex life. I have asked what he would like from me as far as initiating, and he has been giving me lessons about how to touch him to engage sex. Despite this, he isn't very serious when I'm making my attempt to start sex. He maintains a casual, joking tone when I am even verbally stating that I'm trying to initiate. This has made me feel almost as if he isn't attracted to me because he doesn't take it seriously. This has left me discouraged. I've discussed all of this with him, and he is very kind about how I feel. I wonder if he just views sex in a different way than I do. Any advice about how I can convey my feelings more effectively would be appreciated.
Where did you get this?
It's a subreddit, relationship advice.
Okay.
So this girl,
Jesus, that's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. So what are your guys' advice for this female?
Put it in his ass.
I mean,
There's a wiki how for everything, man.
I'm
Touch
just
a man,
saying.
there's literally a tutorial for that online, I'm sure, and I'm not talking about porn. I'm talking about a literal step-by-step guide.
I would say
If you want to go that route, it sounds like you're more calculated and analytical. So
this might be like kind of like far-fetched, but you always get help from girlfriends. They could always give you advice. And girls gossip about sex all the time.
True.
So
Have
I
one
imagine
slumber
you've
party.
heard about it.
After the pillow fight, you guys are talking about some stuff.
I imagine they've talked about it because girls talk about sex way more than guys do. So I imagine they can give you some.
Do they?
Yes, dude. Ask any girl in a friend group. They talk about sex way more than guys.
They don't have video games to talk about, so they just
Yeah,
talk
they don't
about
have
Guys
video
think
games
about
and
it more.
sports
Girls talk
and-
about it more. That's probably a thing.
That is, yeah. So you get that help. I mean, he's a dude, so he's gonna be like being touched at some point, if you know what I mean. So I mean, like,
blowjob advice: sloppy. Be sloppy.
oh god,
Use 2 hands.
dude. Even one hand in a mouth. Do we really just talk about that? That's so fucked.
So are we just memeing, or are we really answering this?
No,
I
that's the
think
real
that's-
blowjob advice.
I think
Yeah,
best
that's real,
advice
that's real.
is
I
talk
agree.
to your girlfriends because like they can like give you from their perspective. Obviously, yours is gonna be different, but it might help if you have literally no experience instead of trying to follow like a step-by-step guide on the internet.
Also, like, I don't know if this is what she's really doing, but if she's literally sitting there like, I'm trying to initiate sex, that's not.
That's not.
I am
good.
going to have sex
Yeah.
with you. Spread your legs.
I want you to fuck me, Jerry.
Like, that's what it sounded like from her her intro here.
Yeah, that's not a good way to go.
She was
about
like,
it.
even when I'm verbally telling him that I'm trying to initiate something, he has a casual, joking tone. I'm like, maybe he feels awkward because you're sitting there like a robot. Like,
True.
we should have sex now. I am initiating sex now.
Initiating blowjob.
Yeah, it's kind of dumb if she's doing that. I mean, it kind of like
I
ruins
don't know if
like,
she
the,
is,
it
but,
ruins
like,
the moment.
If you are, stop.
It like ruins the moment almost. Like in the mood, like she's like, I'm initiating sex. You're like, well, no dip, Sherlock. I figured that out. Like,
It really is about a mood. You just gotta kind of
Yeah.
like set the mood.
Exactly.
I mean,
like, don't just.
Go ahead, Will.
Yeah.
That's you.
I was gonna say, like, don't. If you're trying to initiate sex, there's steps to it. Like, don't just look at someone and just be like, not unless you're in the relationship with them already. Like, if you're in a relationship long enough, like, you can just look at each other and be like, you feel like having a screw tonight? I mean, yeah, I'm in the mood.
I'm down to
But
bang.
like, if you're still in, if you're still in that process of getting to know them, like if you haven't been dating for a year plus, then like there's certain times that are right to like do this stuff with a person. Like
it's like we were talking about
don't
earlier.
try
You
to-
like feel the heat, you feel the electricity going between you while you're just like laying there. You're like, it's time.
and you should both feel it. Like do some like little things like touch his thigh or something like that. And if he
See
reacts
if you
to
get
it
like
a
a little
certain way,
response, like a little touchback on the arm.
exactly. Or like if you're cuddling, move in really close to him.
Put
See
your
if he,
ass
like,
on
wraps
his
his
dick.
arm around you.
Put your ass
Like
in
do
the air.
some
Get into spooning
do
position.
something like do something that is so minuscule but it could make something big. If you're cuddling, just scooch in closer to him. If you're like if you're sitting on the couch, put your hand on his thigh or put your hand on his chest. Like yeah, he might be ticklish, but don't do it to the point that's gonna like make him jump, because if you make him jump, then he's not gonna feel it. But like if you're subtle about it,
I can tell by
like
your
if you
body
go from
language.
like if you go from holding hands to touching his thigh, then like yeah, he's gonna get the idea or something
Yeah.
like that.
Well, like, and even that, like you,
Maybe let him take control.
well, and
Maybe
she said was like he's not taking it seriously. Like, don't, just let him not take it seriously. If that's how he responds to your advances, then so be it. You know.
It's gonna lead to sex most likely if you both keep pushing it there.
I've laughed during sex. I've laughed during sex before.
That's
Yeah.
the best when you can laugh during it.
It's supposed to be like a
Dude,
fun
it's-
experience. It's supposed to be the highlight
It's
of your
great.
day.
It's great
Yeah, don't
when
get
you
caught up
both
in the
laugh.
anxiety. Don't get caught up in the pressure. Just feel and have fun. Have fun, guys.
Quit trying to make a porno. There's no cameras. Quit being so fucking serious.
Which it's kind of ironic because my background that I've chosen for my green screen is the casting couch. But yeah, girl, yo, just go with it. Feel confident. You know, even if you're not confident, my favorite thing to say, fake it till you make it.
Flow with it.
Yeah,
Go
even
with
if he's
it.
laughing,
Flow
like
rather.
it's not that he's trying to hurt your feelings. It's just that's
No,
just
it's
the
probably
main
just how he
emotion.
reacts. He's probably just like feeling a little awkward too about it, you know?
And that's his personality. Yeah, it just depends.
Oliver,
Sex
how
can
do
be an
you
awkward thing when it's like a newer relationship.
guys get over that awkwardness? Like, is there like strategies?
Do
that
it
you go
enough.
by?
Do it a lot. Do it all the
I
time.
mean,
Do it everywhere.
if they're not like crazy experience, yeah, the more and more you get, it's like practice. You do it more, you get better. It's like with anything. You read more, you know how to read. You play video
It's a
games, you're gonna
skill.
get better.
It's
It's
a
a
skill.
skill. You're like getting better at. You're remembering how to do it. You're trying to get better. So the more
you
and more
remember
you do
what
it,
they like, you remember what you
yeah,
like.
exactly. Yeah. So like, the more and more you do it, it'll be less awkward and less awkward and less awkward. And then eventually, when it's not awkward, hopefully you can have fun and it not be awkward. That's kind of the point. But
Clarity talks can help provide some much needed confirmation on what can
that
and
can
can't be
get
done.
rid of awkwardness too.
Yeah,
I
that's
agree
what
with
I'm
that,
saying.
yeah,
Set down
yeah.
some guidelines, make a safe word, whatever.
Also, like, you know, just be real with him. Talk to him. Like, if he's not hitting the right spots, you
Let
know,
them know.
be like, hey, step by step.
Please. We do
Go
not care.
higher.
We actually find feedback great. Because
It
if we're
sounds
hitting
like
the right
she
spot and
said-
you're not liking it, we don't like it either. More
Yeah.
than likely, we don't like that spot either.
She said he's trying to teach her.
Oh, so
You
like,
can make,
she's
you
the
can make
more
like a game out of it, like teacher student.
what? Like, even if like,
You can be like, do this, turn around.
well, if a girl like walked me
Or, like,
step by
boss
step
intern.
through exactly what she wanted, I'd be into it because it's
Yeah.
it'd be kind of like a game at that point.
That's
It'd be
true.
like
It's
sex on
intimate, too.
YouTube. Just get a tutorial for everything. That's awesome.
Tutorial mode. Press square to hit the G spot.
Press.
Press triangle to disable hints.
Oh my god.
Alrighty, Oliver. I need you to come up with a safe word for us tonight
A safe word for what? The episode?
for the end of the episode.
Pineapple.
There you go.
What are we just doing fruits?
Yeah, why
I
are
like,
you
I mean, I like it.
fruit?
We can
All
go,
right.
we'll go with pineapple, I guess. So,
Pineapple.
ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of the episode. If you watched
Safe
through the
word.
whole thing and you liked what you saw, comment in the comment section pineapple, so that way all the nerds that didn't get through the full episode don't get it. What are you doing?
Do we get
Watch the whole
any,
thing. You
watermelon?
whack.
Dude, that'd be hilarious if we saw a bunch of pineapples and some people are like, what the fuck is going on?
Literally,
What
that's
the
the
fuck is
goal.
going?
Yeah.
Emily Grable, once again, the only one that commented watermelon. I appreciate your damn face. Thank you so much for
Wow,
watching
looks
the whole
like
thing.
only one person watched it all the way through.
Is she the queen of our comment section right now?
Where she's probably the only one that commented.
Is this the real sensitive guy's president?
She's a fangirl.
We're gonna have groupies.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great.
She's the groupie president.
Do you guys have anything to say before we finish off the episode?
No,
I'm
sir.
going.
I had a real good talk.
Yeah, it was
a
a
good
good
It's
time.
a good one.
Alrighty, guys, I appreciate you guys so much for watching this episode. If you could do me a favor and share this with your guy friends, share this with your girlfriends. If you want to give back to the show and you really truly enjoy this free content that we're providing to you, that we, literally take an hour out of our schedules to do this, the best thing you can do for us is to share it with people that enjoy this sort of thing, that listen to podcasts.
Send this to your Tinder date.
Send this to your Tinder date.
Yes.
Send this everywhere. And if you provide screenshots
Don't
and email
point
it
me
to
out
us, you're the GOAT. Well, with that
Send
being
it to
said,
your ex.
especially to
family?
your ex, especially to your ex. We're trying to get mostly we're going to refer your ex over to William because we're creating an arsenal of women for this man.
Yeah.
Oh god.
If you're willing to donate your ex to Will, just let us know.
Oh god.
Oh,
He likes
donate
big
an ex
asses,
today.
blonde
And
girls.
God.
And Asians.
No, it's petite brunettes. Apparently, is what my mom says. Is my type is. My mom thinks she knows my type. It's petite brunette.
That's my
Mom
type.
Always knows your type.
She does. It's a fact.
Anyway, guys, I
Alright.
appreciate you guys so much. Like I said, share this video, give us a like, and if you need any advice, comment email drspinshootimpress@gmail.com. We'll feature you in the next episode. Anyway, guys, I appreciate your time. Thanks so much. Peace.
Love
See
you.
you guys.